Evolver, Daymond here with Daymond & Company. Technically inclined, creatively driven, I exist to inspire. I'm also your certified life coach with pluripreneur.com. Now you can find me at any time on either one of those websites. Go to daymondco.com and you'll learn about all the services and products that I provide. But specifically with life coaching, go to pluripreneur.com and there you will find information about the 8 different areas of life betterment solutions I provide through coaching. So I'm always here. Just look me up and we can get started with your life coaching journey or with any project that you have in mind for us to create your success with. But enough about the advertisement. Let me jump right into this inspirational insight. And oh my goodness, this is the April edition. This year is flying by so quickly, but I wanted to make sure that I covered this specific topic at the beginning of the year, right? I know we're almost halfway through, but this is still considered the beginning. We're in quarter 2. And I think this is the perfect time to talk about requirements. Now, let me level set you a little bit. I know when I mentioned the word requirements, that may seem like a boring term, but at the center of almost everything I do, I can tell you that requirements are there. And I'm here to share this knowledge with you because we must be very, very clear about our requirements in life and what it is that we are seeking to accomplish, what it is that we are seeking to do. And for me, requirements, both professionally and in my personal life, have always been at the center of all of that. So if you didn't know, I'm a systems engineer and I'm a project lead and I lead a lot of different projects. And, I've been a systems engineer for almost 20 years. And, at the front end of every project, I will tell you that at the core of everything I do, as a matter of fact, this step cannot ever be skipped. We have to understand what it is that our customers desire. We have to understand what it is that the project requires. We have to understand what it is that the system needs in order to be successful. So this thing that's getting put out into the field, whether it's a car or, a piece of machinery or something like that, the requirements, remember, you may not even know this, but for almost every single device that you use, in order for that thing to exist and be placed in your hand, your iPhone, the requirements, somebody's vision had to be interpreted to statements that then translated into design documents that built the system. So requirements are very, very important. And as a matter of fact, I have my book here because what I decided to do with my book is really take some very specific steps that must be taken in the systems engineering world to make something specific. I decided to, really, for lack of better words, dummy down those aspects of attaining success for a system to be built, and I put them in 102 pages for you to read, right? My brand is dedicated to making people better, and that's exactly what this book does. So that's my level set for this video as we jump into requirements, right? Requiring the best for your best you. That's what we're going to talk about today. So Evolver, I want you to think about this, and I'm going to ask you this question. What do you require? And what I mean by this, Evolver, is what does it take to make you happy? Now, your mind might turn a mile a minute, I know, because that's a very, very open-ended question, right? There's a lot that can make you happy. But there are the things that you need, and then there are the things that you desire. And, most of the time when you think about acquiring them, then you really just have a vague notion of what it is that you actually want, right? And that can be a need or that can be a desire, Evolver. So Let me ask you this question one more time, and remember, in this video there's going to be a little pause and then the title screen will come up. That's okay. You can pause the video, but think about this question, Evolver. What do you truly require? It's tea time. Let's talk. Okay, Evolver, so did you think about the question? Good. I hope you did. So again, taking you back to my book, A Simple Systems Engineering Guide for Success. Now, if you're familiar, you know that I call out 8 specific focus areas for you to attain your success, or aspects for you to attain your success. As a matter of fact, in the book, I call them, there are 8 different steps. But the step that we're going to specifically focus on in this Inspirational Insight is define your success. And what I mean by this, Evolver, is that you need to come up with your requirements for success. I'm mentioning here, what do you require for your specific success in life? And, when I'm asking this question, it may seem like it's just a question, but if you've been in a session with me, I'm hoping to pull something out of it. So what I'm really asking you is, have you defined your requirements for success, and are they done? And what I mean by done is, did you capture them somewhere? Are they in some sort of a Word document? Do you have your own vision board that you captured them with? Are you taking notes? Do you have them written down, Evolver? Because, and I mentioned this in another video that I did, a lot of times you have to write something down and then speak it into existence in order to manifest it, right? So requirements are actually a part of manifestation. So again, are all of your requirements for success complete? And are you both happy with them? And have you defined them for yourself? Now, even though I just mentioned what I consider done for your requirements being defined is having them written down, you may answer my question and you may still, with a very, very, very confident voice say, yes, I've done my requirements. I'm done with my requirements. But, I'm going to actually challenge this, Evolver, because I think it only requires a few questions for me to start asking, whereas it will quickly become apparent to you that being clear about your expectations or your requirements in life can actually be very, very challenging. So let me explain. How about I start with this? What do you require from the job you have to make you happy, Evolver? And are you happy with your job now? Now, initially, you may just really compare, what you do as a job to the amount of money that you make. But remember, in my question, I asked, are you also happy with your job, right? So, and you may be in this position now. If you're in a position and you're making the money that you desire to make, are you also fulfilled in a job that you are performing today? Are you fulfilled in rising up to the challenge of meeting your purpose in life, Evolver, with the job that you have? Because when I consider a person to be successful, they're meeting all of their requirements. They're making the money that they desire. They are fulfilling a purpose that they uniquely exist in this world to fulfill, right? That's part of it, right? So now I'm beginning to pull back the layers of the onion, and now I'm really driving down to, did you actually get what you require, or do you have some unmet requirements in your life? All right? Let's think about the type of home that you live in, Evolver. So Do you have the square footage that you desire? Do you have the yard that you desire or you require in life, Evolver? And if you have that now, great. Are you happy in this space, right? Are you happy with the amount of maintenance that it takes? Are you happy with the utility bills and everything that comes along with you sustaining this square footage or the type of home that you live in? If you're not in this type of home yet, well, then what do you require? What is the square footage and the type of yard that you desire? And again, did you bump that up against the budget that you have for yourself? Remember, we're talking about your requirements in Life Evolver, not anybody else's requirements. Is yours, because in order to be your best you, in order to require the best for your best you, the requirements that you have on yourself must meet the requirements that you have on all the other things going on in your life. Evolver. What about this? Let me, this is a harder one. What do you require of your life partner? The person that you are spending the rest of your life with, or at least to your knowledge, what you know of. What do you require of that person in your life that you're gonna love, Evolver? What do you require? Do they have to be a certain height? Do they have to look a certain way? Do they have to engage in any or all of the same activities that you do, Evolver? That's my question to you. And then my next question to you is a little more self-probing. It requires you to look inside of yourself. Do those things that you require of your life partner align with the same requirements that you have for yourself? And a better question is, before you came up with these requirements for your life partner, did you derive your own? A lot of people forget that step, and that's why I think this inspirational insight, the whole idea about requirements, that's why I think this is so important, because a lot of us skip the step of thinking about how, we've required things of ourselves to attract the other things in life that we desire. So let me take you back to the title of this inspirational insight. Again, this is requiring the best for your best you. And in order to require the best for your best you, Evolver, you must require you to be your best. Now, let me say this a different way. Oftentimes we get so busy in life, Evolver, grading and failing others in our lives and how they fit in, when we really haven't taken the test for ourselves. So we're not requiring the best of ourselves while also criticizing others who aren't meeting their potential as well in life. And I can tell you, Evolver, this was something that I encountered. This was a miserable place for me to be. I'm no stranger to it. I remember going through my 20s and my 30s, Evolver, and I just remember being so miserable because I had like all of these unrealistic expectations of myself. I was really focused on the shortcomings of others. I've always been like a really high achiever, an overachiever. And oftentimes I placed, really, really strict requirements on myself. And in doing that, Evolver, I was also placing those very same strict, ways of seeing how people should, navigate through life and get through life. I was placing those same expectations on others, Evolver. I really didn't know where my unhappiness was coming from, and I could say that very clearly to you today, but at the time, I didn't know where my source of unhappiness was coming from. And I know a lot of you are also feeling this way. I can hear it in a lot of conversations that I'm in. I can see it a lot on, social media. I know that a lot of people, on the surface, it seems like everything is good, everything is great, everything is fabulous. But behind that surface, there's a level of, unhappiness, right? And I've gone through this, Evolver. So that's why I can tell you this today and liken it to my whole idea about being very, very clear about the requirements that you have on yourself and on others in your life. Because you see, what happened to me, Evolver, is that through very deliberate actions and intentions, it just came to me. I hadn't been clear about where my unhappiness was coming from, but then one day it just dawned on me, and by having conversations internally with myself, by praying, by having my own strong connection with God, I saw that what I was really seeing in others, Evolver, was a reflection of the shortcomings and vagueness and misguided and sometimes misplaced requirements that I had put on myself. So all I was really seeing was, when I was looking into others and I was seeing disappointment, I was just seeing a reflection of myself. That quickly got me to understand that I was not doing my internal work, Evolver. And more specifically, within the scope of this inspirational insight, very specifically what I'm saying here is that I didn't define my requirements for success for myself, right? Now, Evolver, I want you to really, really think about this. And, I know typically when I do these inspirational insights, what I do is I reach for metrics or statements or numbers from other resources that I find to share with you some good insights about how we can navigate and become successful and move about in the world. But today, this is it. This is it. A simple systems engineering guide for success. So that's what I'm sticking with today. I decided to share this book with you because requirements have always been at the center, as I said in the beginning of this video, have always been at the center of everything I've done and have always led to the other things that I went on to do in life and the other steps that I went on to accomplish in accordance with a simple systems engineering guide for success. So, Evolver, I looked for a lot of metrics, but I looked for a lot of data. But I'm going to encourage you for this specific inspirational insight, all the data that you really need for this one is inside. When you're coming up with trying to figure out how you're going to navigate in life, what you want out of life, what you desire, when you're coming up with that, remember you start at your baseline, and your baseline is you. A lot of times people use an external baseline, right? We live in a world where patterns are given to us to exemplify what it is that we're supposed to do, the lives that we're supposed to lead, who we're supposed to be in society. But at some point, all of that builds up inside, and you're just not doing something right. You know that all of the patterns that you're seeing and you're trying to live out, that it's just not right for you. Right? And this is when you have that aha moment and that awakening, and it really becomes very apparent that you have to come up with who you want to be, Evolver. So that's what this inspirational insight is all about, right? What you require in life, Evolver, it should not be a moving target. It should not be based on anyone else's thought about your life and how you should live it. Your requirements in life, Evolver, should be about being your best you, right? They should always, always reflect who you are at your core, Evolver. And I mentioned it in this video, your requirements for your success and for living your life is all about fulfilling your purpose. I don't have your purpose, Evolver. The person that you've been looking to all this time that you think really exemplifies success in your life, and you may be patterning yourself after them. They don't know your purpose, Evolver. So what I'm here to share with you today is you know your purpose, and you know where you must start with requiring the best you, Evolver. So start there. And that's exactly what I do with life coaching. With me, it's all about building up my client to understand who they are and who they are meant to be in life. So never, ever disregard that you have all of this knowledge within yourself, Evolver, that's waiting to just burst out and allow you to be free to define who you are meant to be in this life. So that's what I have for this Inspirational Insight, Evolver. It's all about, helping you to step back. Think about what you've been doing all these years, and are you clear about the requirements that you have set for yourself and where you are with meeting them? And before I leave you with this video, I actually want to go to a page in my book, A Simple Systems Engineering Guide for Success. And I have a success tip here. It's on page 60. It's success tip number 12. And I will leave you with this. Create a contract with yourself to require yourself to do what must be done to be successful, Evolver. And I'm encouraging you to do this for yourself, because if you're not doing it for yourself, somebody else is doing it for you. So why not take control of it today? Again, I am Daymond with Daymond and Company, and I am also your certified life coach with plurapreneur.com. Technically inclined, creatively driven, I exist to inspire. XO.